You're listening to Kerry Lutz's Financial Survival Network, where you get valuable information you just can't find anywhere else. To thrive in today's trying times, you need the Financial Survival Network, now more than ever. Go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com and get your free newsletter and gift. Financial Survival Network, now more than ever.
Welcome. You are listening to the Financial Survival Network. I'm Kerry Lutz. Well, interest rates, property values going down in numerous markets, and higher rates, economy slowdown, perhaps recession around the corner. What does that mean for your credit? Well, our good friend Paul Oster is here with us now. Paul, it's great to have you back on the show. So what are you doing at your company there? Better credit. How is better qualified? How is that affecting you at this point, Paul?
Yeah, I would say, believe it or not, unfortunately, we're seeing a, uptick in the amount of inquiries and calls and chats about what people should be doing. And the best time to do it is 6 months ago, but the best time is today, because if we don't change behaviors, these are the people that are going to wind up in a much deeper hole to dig out of when do rebound, and ultimately they will. This is all cyclical, so hopefully it just doesn't last that long. But there's no doubt that we are heading down this rabbit hole. If you don't want to call it a recession, let's call it a slowdown. But it's happening in real time.
All right. So do you think we're headed for like a credit bust, like where credit becomes very difficult to obtain for all but the most creditworthy?
I think we're well on our way, to that environment. The banks and creditors are already tightening their guidelines. So it's just a matter of how much more they tighten and how much more, difficult they're going to make it for people to obtain any type of financing. And this, your credit scores are going to cost or save you money every single month. But in this environment, it seems to be, that much more integral that people, pay attention to that 3-digit score, because not only is it going to cost you money, like we were just talking about, you might not be able to get approved. And if you do get approved, they hear on the news, 30-year fixed is now over 6%. That's for people with excellent credit. If you have credit, you're going to be closer to 8, 9, 10% for sure.
Wow. So it's really having an impact. And so you encouraging your clients to pay this debt down, their credit card debt and all the other consumer debt?
Yeah, listen, the second biggest factor to credit scores, your debt utilization ratio. Remember, income, not a factor for your credit scores. So the credit bureaus have no idea how much money you make. And maybe that's a good thing or a bad thing. But what happens is they only look at how much credit you have available and how much of that credit you're now using. And the magic number is 30%. As soon as you go over 30% of your credit limits to credit balances, your scores will start to plummet quickly. And they go down by tremendous jump, 50 points, 100 points. So you have to be very careful about credit card balances.
All right. So what about all the measures that were put in place during the last couple of administrations to get rid of medical debt off of credit reports and low balance debt and all that? Has that kind of run its course?
No, look, it's a good thing, and it's happening. The problem is banks and creditors can use whatever score model they want to use. So in this case where, the FTC, the CFPB, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, they say to the bureaus, you can't report this medical debt, you can't do this, you can't do that. For the new FICO score model, But the problem is, again, banks are using the most common scoring model being used right now is FICO 08, which it sounds like exactly what it is. It was released back in 08. For mortgages, banks are using the FICO 04 scoring model. So banks hate change. And again, FICO can release, a new scoring model every day. The government not force the banks to use a certain scoring model.
Okay. So, all right. So you need to be basically thinking about paying these high interest credit cards and such down. And it's harder to get a home equity line of credit now. So that's kind of been cut off for you. What else? How are you supposed to do this other than spending less and paying out more?
Well, that's the magic formula, because look, we're all basically on a fixed income. So where is the money going to come from? And unless you have access, if you can't borrow money out of your 401k, if you don't have equity in your house, you can't have access to a line of credit. It has to come from budgeting and lowering your expenses. And most people say, Paul, I don't even think about it. I live paycheck to paycheck. There's just no room or anything for me to do. That's the exact person that really needs to sit down and put a household budget in place. In today's world, we need to run our households like small businesses. I mean, there are just so many things going on out there, and it's these little expenses. We've become a nation of subscriptions: Netflix, Spotify, Hulu, Xbox, PlayStation. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And we're paying those. And these are not things that we need. These are all things that we want. And I'm a realist. I get it. I'm not saying you have to do this for the rest of your life. I'm saying a 3-month, 6-month, I don't care if it's a 12-month plan in place where you are going to be super focused and disciplined in paying down your debt. Stop going out to dinner. Stop, going out for drinks. Stop with the vacation, all of this stuff. Just for a finite period of time, focus on the debt. Every dollar that you have disposable income at the end of the month has to go down towards paying your credit card debt. And I make this very easy, and I'm not always the most popular guy in the room, but we have to hold ourselves accountable here. So look, you're going to make a purchase. Now, maybe it's on Amazon, maybe you're at a store, maybe you're booking something online. If you haven't paid the balance on that credit card down to zero, do not make that purchase. Don't put another dollar on an existing balance until you're in a position where you can pay those credit cards to zero every single month. Stop putting money on those cards.
All right. So it's like that old Bob Newhart show where the woman says she's scared of everything basically in life. And he says, just stop it. Just stop it. Right? So that's what we're looking at. Just stop it.
Yep. Look, again, I say even at this point, now is the time to panic, but now is the time to change your behavior. If you continue to do the same things that you've always done and you're expecting different results, that's called insanity, right? So we have to change our behaviors.
Right. Okay. So the time is now. Start doing what you have to do, right?
Don't just survive, thrive. The Financial Survival Network.
Osino Resources is a Ross Beatty-backed gold exploration company in mining-friendly Namibia. Osino's district-scale land package is situated near 2 producing gold mines, one of which Osino's management team previously developed and sold to B2 Gold. Osino's founders and management are experienced mining professionals who have already successfully developed and sold 2 companies in the past 7 years. Osino has an excellent shareholder base with Ross Beatty owning 20%, insiders 5%, and Resource Capital Funds 8%. This is an exploration company with drills turning that you'll definitely want to pay attention to. Osino trades in New York under the ticker OSIIF and in Toronto under the ticker OSI. To learn more, go to osinoresources.com. That's osinoresources.com.
This is the Financial Survival Network, the information you need to thrive now more than ever.
That's it. And again, most people spend more time planning their vacations, planning this, than figuring out a household budget. There are so many apps and stuff that's out there that makes this easier now than it's ever been. Put all of your bills on autopay. Most of your banks will do a spend analysis for you to help you figure out where this money is going to come from.
Okay, I like it. I like it a lot here. So, can you just give us some of those apps and tools that are available and what kind of costs we're looking at?
Yeah, believe it or not, most of the basic ones are free. Check out mint.com. Mint.com. That is one that I have personally used. Puts all of your bills in one place. It gives you alerts when they're coming up, when they're going to be due, and it gives you a good spend analysis. NerdWallet is another great place, to take a look at what's going on. But like I had also said, most banks now have these internal mechanisms that you can use, and you can see exactly where you're spending the money every month. Look, people, again, I hear it all the time. Paul, I live paycheck to paycheck. It's just not possible to figure out where this disposable income is coming. And I say, okay, let's look at a typical day. You get up, you make your own coffee. No. Do you, eat a little something? No, I grab something on the way to work. That's a red flag. Convenience stores are killers to household budgets. There's a reason why they're called convenience stores. You're paying a premium for the convenience of walking in and walking out as quickly as possible. Now, again, I'm a realist. I get it. Sometimes you got to do it. But it's the person that does this habitually every single day, sometimes 2 and 3 times a day, on the way to work, lunchtime, on the way home from work. Then I just stop for a couple of beers with the boys. I stop for a couple of beers, glasses of wine. It's ladies' night on Wednesdays. I can't miss that. Well, yes, you can. So it's those people that really need this the most, for sure.
All right. Well, that makes a lot of sense. And things like your cable television plan, maybe you should look at cutting the cable. You could do better than what your legacy cable carrier is offering you these days, right? And right, there's a lot of ways of doing this, huh?
Look, get an insurance protection audit done. Most people have not, looked at their insurance policies and premiums. They just continue to pay it. Homeowners insurance, auto insurance. Now is the time to shop around for all of these things, because again, if you can save $100 a month on any expense and you take that $100, here's the good news, Kerry. Debt elimination happens almost as quickly as getting into debt. I mean, it can happen very, very quickly. It's a snowball effect. So let's talk about a couple of different things. One is how you're going to pay those credit cards down. It's called debt stacking. So if you have more than one card, you're simply going to take the card with the highest interest rate. They have to pay the minimums on all the other cards.
Sure.
But you're going to, let's use easy numbers. If it's $100, you're going to take the $100 and apply that extra towards one card. People have a tendency to sprinkle that around because it makes them feel better. Oh, I paid $25 extra on all 4 cards. Mathematically speaking, the fastest way to do it is to take that money and put it towards one card.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that makes a lot of sense. And then when you pay off that card, you take the money that you're saving monthly and then you apply it to the next. And it's a plan that's proven, that works over time. I've known many people who've done it, and, it works.
It does work. It does work. And again, people will be amazed at how fast it starts to go down. Because remember, Credit cards are daily compounding interest vehicles, which means you're not paying the debt down. If you don't spend another dollar, but you're not paying those off in full, every single day, the interest rate is recalculated based upon yesterday's balances. And guess what? Yesterday's balances are higher than the day before. And the day before, it just keeps getting worse. And at the end of the month, if it's not paid off in full, you now pay or the new balance is recalculated based upon those 30-day increments of daily compounding interest.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I like it. And I think it's an easy way to do it. It requires a bit adjustment on your behavior. And if you can save money too, look, like you said, cut out the convenience stores, switch your gas to regular if you're doing premium, and look at perhaps refinancing your auto loan if you can do that. There's a lot of ways of going about this, and you need to start thinking about all of them. Paul, people want to connect with you, want to find out more about what you're doing, how to help their credit. Where do you go?
Just go to betterqualified.com. That's betterqualified.com.
All right, excellent. And if you got a question for Paul or myself, shoot us an email, kl@kerrylutz.com. We're curious to hear about your situation. Are you paying down credit card debt? Have you paid it all off? Is it backbreaking? Do you need help with it? Just shoot me an email. Let me know, kl@kerrylutz.com. When you're at the site, financialsurvivalnetwork.com. Sign up for your free newsletter. Paul, always a pleasure. Thanks so much.
Thanks for having me back on, Kerry.
Thanks for listening to Kerry Lutz's Financial Survival Network, your solution to today's trying times. For the latest, go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com. Financial Survival Network, now more than ever.